me see my thing is gonna work. Why is it stuck on there? Okay. How are you guys? How are you, squirrels on fire? Oh, I am still kind of under the weather, recovering from that weird ass vertigo situation last week. It was a week ago today, as a matter of fact. So I'm getting better every day, but I'm still not quite 100%. And then I had to go to the dentist today, so that was a little rough. My gag reflex is more than usual. And the good news is that my teeth are nice and clean. Hey, Sherry. So you guys are so nice to come into my live chat. I just love you. And Cheyenne's not feeling good as well. That's stinky. I don't want everybody to feel great. I spent the entire day yesterday at the vet with the dog getting the assessment for treatment. So that went well, actually. That's a pretty hopeful situation, I'm happy to say. But again, it was hard being at the vet. Like, I thought I was just dropping. Actually, I didn't think I was dropping her off. I thought I was having an appointment at 10:30 and that we were going to just go over treatment plans. And, this is like an oncologist vet, so not my regular vet. But then it turned out that they could do some of the testing right there on the spot. And so I came and left from the vet a couple of times because they said she was ready to go and they still hadn't done everything. So anyway, long story short, she was at the vet from 10:30 until 4-ish, 4:30, maybe even 5. I didn't have to sit at the vet the whole time, but I was there the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I was driving the rest of the time. I mean, I got to hang out at my house for like maybe half an hour tops in the middle of the day. But it was just a lot of running around and worrisome. But the end result, I think we're in about as good of a place as we could be. And the cancer might not come back. There's always that possibility. But just the different avenues that we can take. But the really good news, I'm so happy I thought of this to share it with you guys, is that hadn't done when I went to pick her up was they hadn't tested the other fatty deposit lumps. And so they went ahead and tested them, and they said that they are all just fatty deposit lumps. So that's huge. That's amazing. Amen. And Tough Coco, prayers going still. Yeah, she's such a sweetie. She's such a trooper. So yeah, that's as good as it gets, at a time. So, and I haven't been doing much yoga at all. Just that one class I told you guys about, the restorative yoga. And I might go into the studio today and just do a little bit of my own restorative stuff. But overall, I think, knock on wood, I think I'm okay. I think so. I don't want to jinx it. I'm very superstitious. But anyway, let's check in with you guys. How are you, Mr. Mark? Nice to see you. And let's start talking about the cases. If you guys might have noticed in my thumbnail, I have a picture of Michael Polite and his puppy dog. And you guys have probably heard me talk about Michael Polite once or twice. He's a man that was incarcerated for 20 years. I put the link to the 48 hours in the description. So he was exonerated, but when he was 14 years old, he was charged with unaliving his mother. As if it doesn't get any worse than that, it actually does. So his mother's deceased. He's the one who finds her. It's a horrible mess, with the red stuff, and she was on fire. So red stuff, and she was on fire in their home. And the parents were divorced. The divorce had just gotten finalized in the summer. This happened early December. I think the year was 98, but I'll have to double check my notes. Anyway, I'm just trying to give you a quick overview. He finds her. He's devastated. He's traumatized. He gets put in prison. But what you need to know is that his father clearly set him up to be put in prison and to take the fall. Like, his father didn't only not try to defend him, he clearly, in my opinion, had set him up. So let me do my little routine. Everything I say is simply my opinion, simply for the sake of starting a conversation, hoping to open up an intelligent discussion with brain working and everything. All my videos to date have been made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. And please make sure you're still subscribed. If you are subscribed, share the video if you like it, and turn on your notification bell to ring so you know when I'm going live. And the creepy thumb is right here. It's just so hilarious how hard it is to keep track of everything. There's the creepy thumb. Okay. Now, I really want to jump right into the Amanda Knox, Meredith Kircher case too, because where we left off the day before yesterday, and I was really bummed I didn't get to make a video yesterday, but you guys heard the story just now of what was going on. So I'm so happy to be here with you guys right now, today. And after the last video, I added up how many times in the 4-page letter that Amanda Knox hand wrote. So I've got a typed version, but she hand wrote it. 4 pages, just barely over 4. 4 pages typed. Actually, no, it would be 4 because the first page starts halfway down the middle and the last page is just a couple of lines. So a 4-page typed transcript of the handwritten statement to the police. Miss Amanda Foxy Knoxy mentions herself no less than 200 times, you guys. Slightly over 200 times. I, me, my, mine, myself, me, myself, and I. Over 200 times in 4 pages. Less than 4 pages. Let that sink in for a narcissist. She does, much to her credit, remember to mention Meredith a whole 10 times. So like 5%, less than 5% of how many times she mentions herself. And I'm not even counting when she refers to we. I left those out. I let that one go. So these are the symptoms of narcissism, the I, me, my. And it's just really sad because narcissists don't only not know how to care about people, which means that they literally don't know how to love. They don't know what love is. They might even have to Google, like, what is love? How do you say I love you to a new partner? Remember, Chris Watts did that. Like, how long should it be in a new relationship before you say I love you? The MF Googled that. Like, maybe you should be talking to a therapist rather than a Google. I don't know, just maybe. Anyway, yeah, that would have been good, huh? If he could have been a little bit in touch with himself, his kids could have survived his narcissism. A little too poignant. So the one thing I do need to do is break for water a lot. That's the one thing that my doctor told me to do in bouncing back from the full-blown vertigo attack, is that I'm putting that information out there for anyone else who's had vertigo, or if you currently have vertigo. Some people have it chronically. But the one thing she said is drink tons of water, which I already do, but she said, yeah, drink more. So the creepy thumb at the party. Yes. So, and I'll apologize for being a little bit more loopy than normal, but you guys know the score. I mean, normally I'm not loopy, am I? I don't even know. So Polite's dad set him up. And I believe that part of why he set him up was because his child rejected him. The parents had gotten divorced. Mike was very clear that he wanted to live with his mother and only his mother. And so I think that's what set him off. Rejection is difficult for anybody. And yeah, having your child choose the other parent, especially the same gender child, because they often do choose the same gender parent. And so maybe that might even be a little bit of a consolation to try to accept it and to understand it and to rationalize it and say, oh, well, it's just because, they're both the same gender. So it's nothing personal. But clearly it was something personal. I mean, the kind of guy who would do what he did, the 14-year-old kid already knew that that's who his father was. There was a long history of domestic violence. He'd seen his father hurting his mother his whole life. So it's just so freaking crazy. What I'm trying to say is the rejection that set him off going over to the Meredith Kircher case. I think that Amanda Knox was set off by rejection from the boyfriend of Meredith's that lived downstairs from them. And she might have even had a little bit of rejection from her new boyfriend, from Rafaela. And I put the still shot of her walking, and it's got, clearly her gait, her posture, her holding the backpack over one shoulder, and the way she has her thumb tucked under it, and she's stepping, she's like mid-step. I put that photograph on my community post next to a photograph of the person who's near Amanda and Meredith's home around the same time as Meredith was attacked. And the person has a backpack with a thumb under it and is in mid-step and has the same gait. Actually, even has the same kind of hat on. Kind of reminded me of those pictures, the comparison with Chief Fry, the man without a face at the back of the corner club. And, even right down to the sunglasses on his head. But the way he held his thumbs in his pockets, the way he stood, the shape of his shoulders, all of it was a perfect match, in my opinion, to Chief Fry. So, in my opinion, the still shot from the CCTV looks exactly like Miss Knox. Of course, it's blurry and grainy AF because CCTV still shots are like that, and it's from a distance. But it's also important to keep in mind that CCTV footage was not even known about for the first 7 years after this happened. And that's so sad. I mean, it's great that it was there, but it would have been nice if it could have been incorporated into the case early on. And I stand by my opinion that the Italian government was just so sick of Amanda Knox that they were just like, go back to America, get the F out of our country, get the F out of our prison. We want nothing to do with you. You're the most annoying human on planet Earth, because she's rancid, you guys. And anybody who is still fooled by her, watch Martin Decoder break down one of her interviews. And that's my very last community post, is a photograph, a still shot from that interview. And she's totally got her Little House on the Prairie get up on, looking much like Miss Laura Ingalls from that TV show. And you don't even get the full effect, because the flower top that's kind of like a tank top over the ruffly, lacy other white top, the navy blue floral thing is actually a pants jumpsuit, like all the way down to the floor. And then she's got white high heel sandals on it. They kind of remind me of like Barbie shoes, but she's just really trying to play that whole goody two-shoe role. And she does a pretty good job. I'll give her that. I mean, she's a freaking expert, just like other people that we know, Alec Baldwin. scammy. Anyway, she is being interviewed by the guy, and she, defends herself and deflects and, avoids questions and doesn't answer questions and does the roundabout thing, but she does it well. If I didn't know any better, I would go, oh, what an intelligent woman. And she's a good speaker, and she does have a very good vocabulary. She was good at academics. That's what got her into the prep school, that got her into UW. And UW is very hard to get into. I think they have like a 5% acceptance rate. And then I don't know all the parameters of what it takes to study abroad, but that was, I think, just her second year of college, because she was only 19. And so I think she had done her freshman year in Seattle, and then this was like her sophomore year. Anyway, where was I going with all of that? She is a tricky little monster. And Martin Decoder is an expert in linguistics. So he does a fabulous job breaking down the way this girl plays everybody. Everybody, you and me and God. So let's also talk about Hannah Gutierrez Reed, speaking of which, because you guys, thank you so much for alerting me to the jail phone calls that Emily Baker or Barker, I think it's Baker, talks about in her videos. And I know Popcorn Planet was talking about it in his videos, but he's one of those channels that I wasn't able to watch anymore after the Kylie Rodney stuff. And good riddance. I mean, he was obnoxious even when I wanted to watch him. I can't stand his voice. I can't stand anything about him. He reminds me a little bit or a lot of the other guy, the dodgy one. And I'm not sorry. I'll just say it because it's gross. And I think it's important to call a spade when we see it, when we feel it, to keep ourselves safe, to let people know. Anyway, yeah, let me get a drink. And I do have a bottle to refill, but let me also stay caught up with you guys. Is it just me, or is the video blurry in the stream? Dang it. It's blurry, Shelly, but I'm listening. Oh, that sucks. So let me try to get more light, because sometimes that might help. I don't know. And what else can I do? I can quit using my hands when I'm talking. I think that blurs it up. Shan, any advice? You're like the IT expert, because I would think that there's probably something I can do to make it focus. I know with the iPhones, if they see your eyeballs, they'll focus better, but I don't think that that's going to be the same thing with my laptop. So I apologize. I know it's really frustrating when it's like that. Seems like bandwidth or computer needs to be restarted or things closed on the computer. Should I do that? Let me do that. Do you guys mind? We'll start up a new stream, because I know how frustrating it is to be watching, and I don't want you guys to be frustrated like that. So let's close this one down. It seems like bandwidth. I have Spectrum, and it's been crappy lately. So if it's still crappy when I come back on, then maybe we just won't do a very long live. But yeah, let's try it. Hey, Annie Ruler, got your earrings all packaged up. I'm ready to send them. So I'm going to do an end stream, and then I'm going to restart. So hope to see you guys in a minute. Thanks.